Our conversation today is about why we have a difficult time maintaining feelings that we want to maintain. So nowadays, there is a quest for being happy. Everyone says, all I want is just to be happy. And I don't know why, but my life fluctuates. I'm happy and then I fall. And you wonder why. And suddenly from a high, I go to a low and back to a high. And it's very, very, very confusing. It's confusing. I don't even know who I am, let alone, I can't figure out my own self. I don't know why it fluctuates so much. And the question is, how can I just be happy? Now, in more holier terms, it's not about how I should be happy. The conversation will be about how do I arrive at Ahavas Hashem, love of God. But we don't really talk that language nowadays. The language we're going to speak is more, how do I get to feel good? I want to feel good. But the truth is, feeling good and feeling Hashem and loving Hashem are interrelated and are one and the same. Because where is God? Where is Hashem? He's not somewhere, but rather, He's at your core. God is inside your very inner being. And so when you unblock and unclog the pipe and discover your inner true self, right there is Hashem. And so, Chibur Adam im atzmo, a person gets to know himself, is the same as Chibur Adam im Elokim, as getting connected to Hashem. And let's delve into why we fall and why we fail. In order to understand this, I'm going to go into a verse in the parasha, which we just read. It's very, very powerful. And there's so much to discuss on this verse. We're going to take it out of its simple meaning of pshat and into a more relevant meaning to us. So the pasuk says as follows. It says, "Va'avadetem et Hashem Elokechem," which literally means, you'll serve Hashem your God. "Uve'erach et lachmecha ve'et meimecha," He will bless your bread and your water, you'll be successful. "Va'asiroti machala mikirbecha," I'll take away any illness from inside you. Beautiful. Then we continue. "Lo tiyeh meshakela ועקרה בארצך," there won't be any bereaved woman nor barren woman in your land. "Et mispar yamecha amale," I'll give you longevity. I'll give you a long life, many days. And when you read this verse, what it appears to be saying is just a nice blessing. If you serve Hashem and you care about God, that's what you got to do. What's going to happen? You won't have any illnesses. You'll have all the bread and water that you need. And there won't be any barren or bereaved woman in the land. And it's very, very nice. Beautiful. We're going to take this verse and bring it into, instead of just as a blessing from above, we're going to transform it into Avodat Hashem. So there's going to be a lot of to-dos, a lot of work to be done in this verse. And here's the goal. Our goal is not, see, you can read this word as Lo tiyeh meshakela, there will not be a barren or bereaved woman, which means a promise, a prediction. Or you can read it as Lo tiyeh, you're not allowed to have a barren or bereaved woman. And then you ask, what should I do about it? It's not, I don't control what happens with Hashem, but actually you do. Lo tiyeh meshakela ועקרה בארצך means you're not allowed to have a barren or bereaved woman in the land. Barren woman's one who cannot have babies in the first place. Bereaved is one who has, and Rahmanul Islam, the babies don't last. But we're going to take it to a metaphoric level. What is a child? What is a baby for our purposes of our conversation? The children are your feelings. Why are feelings called children? Because they have parents. Every feeling you have has a parent. Where does it come from? The intellect. You actually have zero access to your feelings. If I tell you like a simple action, lift up the sefer, pass me the book. Is that clear? You know exactly what to do. If I say to you, I want you to think about this and this concept, you know what to do. Say this and this, very clear. If I say, Ve'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha. Now tell me, what am I supposed to do about that? You need to love Hashem, your God. Do you even know where to start? How am I supposed to love? So what's the answer? How do you start to love Hashem? The answer is, go one verse back. It doesn't say Ve'ahavta in a vacuum. It says Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, which means intellectualize, right? Get it, O Jew, Hashem our God, Hashem is one. Once you get it, Shema Yisrael, then you do Ve'ahavta. In other words, you have no access to the emotions directly. You have to go back a step into the intellect. Your emotions stem from your perspective intellectually. Whatever you understand to be true, that's what your emotions come from. So you want to start with intellect and lead from intellect into emotion. Therefore, when I say Ve'ahavta, what I'm really saying is, I want you to focus on how much Hashem does for you, how connected God is to you, and through that, you'll get to be connected to Hashem, and you actually feel a love for Hashem. So when I say that there should not be any barren or bereaved women, that means you'll have babies, and God forbid the babies should actually last, and not the opposite. And that means your intellect will give rise to emotions, and the emotions will last and will not dissipate. And if you want to know why, you have every reason intellectually in the book to feel good intellectually, but it doesn't last, it doesn't arrive at the feeling stage. It's because there's a disconnect. That's what we're talking about. How do you get to a space of not having a משכלה ועקרה, a bereaved woman or a barren woman? So our conversation is, how do I get to feel good and stay with that feeling of good and remain there? And feeling good about yourself, ahavat atzmo, is actually ahavat Hashem, as we'll see. So the process, I'm going to break it down into 6 steps, because we know we like steps, and we have to know, bottom line, how do I do this? So we're going to have 6 steps of how to do this. What's the process? And they're all written in the pasuk, in the Chumash, right there, tells you exactly what to do. But before I begin, we're going to have to look at, just to preface another introduction. And that is, we live on the ground, what they call Mother Earth. So the earth produces everything that we need. It's very sad, actually, that nowadays, if you ask your child, where does milk come from? The answer will be the grocery store, makolet. And how do you get tomatoes and cucumbers and potatoes? I don't know, right? It's all in the grocery store. What's the problem with that? The problem is, what happens when you go to the grocery and they're out of tomatoes? What do? You get all upset, right? What do you mean? Because you know why they don't have tomatoes. It's most likely something in the way they're managing the company. That's what it is. Just you got to figure out how to organize yourself, that you get what you need, that you have the products available to you. You can't not have products. In the original system that Hashem created, the way it happened is, you got tomatoes because there was a good season, and because you planted in the ground, and you're amin b'chaya olamim vezorea. You have to have total emunah. You have to completely throw yourself into God's hands, and you put a thing in the ground, and out comes a tomato, and it doesn't always come out. You have to work hard, and you have to pray, and you have to have rain, and you have to have so much work. So we used to be much more connected to Hashem. It wasn't a matter of systematizing and process. It was a matter of Hashem allowing you to have tomatoes. But nowadays, we don't have access to that. Yet, everything comes from the ground. The ground is the source of it all. Just like you have a physical ground, you also have a spiritual ground. Now, spiritual ground, we understand. What is cyberspace? You ever think, if I send you an email, it's actually miraculous if you ask me. But where does the email go? So I type the email, and then somehow it just rises up, and the email gets sent somewhere and arrives somewhere else. So the email is not actually in the middle of nowhere. It's actually in cyberspace. It's somewhere. There's this space that it goes to, and the satellites or whatever, and all the things that are going on, and it arrives and it comes back down to you. Think about it the same way with relationships. We have an unspoken aretz. There's an unspoken earth between us. Everyone, all the time, you have these relationships and you deposit into them all the time. So the little child gets on the bus in the morning, comes up, and the bus driver looks at the child. If the bus driver says, hey, Miss Sugarna, good to see you today, then he's created already a baseline. What does the child know about this bus driver? Right? There's a certain understanding of what the bus ride is going to be like, and what this driver's like, and what my life is like, and what I think of myself. There's a lot of unspoken stuff over there. What happens if the bus driver decides to change the relationship? And when the kid gets onto the bus driver says, hey, so nice to see you. Welcome aboard. So now you created a different ambiance. We have that ambiance in all relationships, in everything, all the time. If you walked into this room right now, right, there's a certain understanding that you have of what it is. You're coming into a class, what it means, who you're seeing, what you're going with. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's all unspoken. In any relationship you have, you make deposits and withdrawals. Say if you have a good relationship and there's a lot of connection and love going on, you make a deposit, and every time you say something, and then you make a withdrawal where you want something out of it and you want to get something back. All relationships work based on eretz. The reason why things fall apart, the pasuk tells us, "Lo tiyeh משכלה ועקרה בארצך." The reason is because it's your eretz. That's the problem. Cannot be your eretz. What does that mean? When your overarching raison d'être, your reason for being, is because I need to get, you will fail and you will fall. It's inevitable, it's going to happen. Because it's be'artzecha. So we start off life, it's just natural the way we are nowadays. Everything is about me and what I am going to get from this. And that's the number one killer. Meshakela va'akara comes from be'artzecha. Because to us, if I'm not getting something out of this, and it's not me, if I'm not getting, so what? So we call it, so I'm being abused. Essentially, because you're using me, and I'm not getting out of it. The truth is, the best way to have the best life is by not trying to have the best life. The more you try to have a good life, the more happy you try to be, the less happy you'll be. And the way to be happy is by not trying to be happy. So step one, order of the day, is to let go of aretzecha. Interesting how the word eretz is also ratzon. למה נקרא שמה ארץ שרצתה לעשות רצון קונה? Eretz and ratzon are interrelated, desire. Be'artzecha, when it's me and my desire, it's you what you want, it's not going to work. So the first step in anything is to stop trying, to stop needing, to stop having dreams and goals and aspirations and all that. And you say, what? How do I survive without a dream? I think here's the process. You don't need to be anywhere else, and nothing that can happen to you is going to make your life any better. With all the dysfunctional relationships you have now, and the lack of money, and all the problems, and all the issues you have now, and all the mess ups you've done in your life, everything, you are now in the most perfect state ever. Once you accept that part, that's when life starts to flow. It's about me realizing that my life is awesome. And I don't need to be anything to be valuable and to be worthwhile. I am valuable exactly where I am. I'm special exactly where I am. And it's about me accepting whatever dream you have, right? Dreams block us. When you want something, I dream of fill in the blank. That dream of something is what blocks you from ever getting it. Because you're constantly looking behind you to say, am I getting it? Is it working? Is it not working? So it's about accepting that whatever dream you have, Hashem put it into your head. And so Hashem is going to give it to you. So if I want to be married, I want to have a shidduch, instead of looking all the time and seeing how I don't have it and it's not working and nothing is happening, which is normal and natural for us to do, it's about me looking and saying, whatever I want, Hashem's going to give me. So He's going to give it to me. So it's all good. So I have it already. You want to have good shalom bayis? I already have it. Then you say, but I don't. Look for clues of how you do. Because 1% of the time something happened that must be good. And so look for those things that are good and glorious and get excited over those things. Step one is probably the hardest step, is to let go of all my own desires and to make it only about allowing myself to feel good, comfortable, happy. And all the dreams that I have, Hashem's going to give it to me. And then all the dreams that I want, actually I already have them. I start seeing proof in my life how I already have them now. So now what am I going to do? If I have everything, I don't need to go anywhere. So what's my next step? What am I doing? Here we can begin the process. The Torah says, "Va'avadetem et Hashem Elokeichem," and it's a key pasuk to discovering happiness and inner joy. Va'avadetem et Hashem Elokeichem. You know what it means? To serve Hashem, your God. You know, when I have a problem, I hire someone to come help me. So if I don't like to clean my car, I go to a car wash and they clean it for me and I pay them. And if I can hire someone to do whatever I need to do. What does it mean? Va'avatem et Hashem Elokeichem. What does it mean to serve Hashem your God? Hashem doesn't need you. There's positively nothing you could do that Hashem doesn't have himself. So when you say I should work for Hashem, and that means what? It's not what it means. Va'avatem et Hashem Elokeichem, he has a deeper meaning. There are two names of Hashem. Hashem, Elokeichem. What's the difference between Hashem and Elokeichem? Remember? Yud-Kei Vav-Kei versus Elokeichem. One name signifies God as he is removed, the miraculous Hashem. That's Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. Elokeichem is Hashem as he comes down to nature. Note how. How do you say my God? Elokai. How do you say your God? Elokecha. Plural? Elokeichem. His God? Elokav. Our God? Elokeinu. You see how he's always asking you, what do you want? And he's giving you what you want. How do you say with Yud-Kei Vav-Kei? Your Yud-Kei Vav-Kei? My Yud-Kei Vav-Kei? His Yud-Kei Vav-Kei? Their Yud-Kei Vav-Kei? Our? Nothing changes. Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is Hashem as he is. Elokim is Hashem as he comes down to us. Which is why Elokim is the numerical value, gematria of Hateva, nature. Because Elokim is Hashem as he comes down to nature. Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is Hashem as he is. That's Hashem on his level. So you have Yud-Kei Vav-Kei and Elokim. God as he's removed, and God as he lowers himself down into nature. Which one do you live with? Who's your God? Elokeichem is Hashem as he's in the natural world. What would you like? That Hashem should make miracles? Would you like to see Kriyas Yam Suf, splitting of the sea? It would be cool. But are you really interested in seeing that? You know you just saw it. If you paid attention, right? Nothing really happened, but some lady was walking around and saw some bomb on the bus or whatever, and I don't know what exactly happened, but no Mossad, no whatever, no one figured it out. There's one little Yidale figured it out, and we don't know the extent, but it looks like she might have saved thousands upon thousands of people. And that's just happens to be, like that. Nothing actually happened. But that kind of miracle happens to you all the time. It's all the time. Meaning, we say, Hallelujah Hashem kol goyim, Shabhu kol haomim. Think about those words, almost Rosh Chodesh. Praise Hashem, all the nations, and get excited over Hashem, all the nations. The goyim should praise Hashem. Why? Ki gavar aleinu chasdo. Because Hashem's chesed is on us. Why are they praising Hashem if Hashem's kindness is on us? Exactly. Because they know what there is to praise for. Most of the time, we have no idea what there is to praise for. We only once in a while discover, oh my gosh, Hashem is actually protecting us. It's quite amazing. Hashem is in our lives today more than he ever was in the times of Kriyas Yamsuf. It's much greater than the splitting of the sea. It's almost Purim. That's what the Purim story is about. It says all the holidays are nullified except for Purim. You'll still have Pesach and Shavuos and all that, but the miracles of the Geula, of the redemption, will be so much greater that you'll look back and you say that was nothing. But the miracle of Purim is the greatest miracle. Why? Because nothing happened, that's why. It's just like, wow, unbelievable. My life is completely aligned with Hashem. It's unbelievable to look at your life, to pay attention and to see. It's just awesome to see just how much is transpiring in my life at any given time. So the Torah says, "Va'avadetem et Hashem Elokeichem." Let me retranslate that. Not serve the Lord your God, but rather work Yud-Kei Vav-Kei as he's removed to become Elokeichem. Start seeing that every single thing that's transpiring in your life is a splitting of the sea. And get excited over it. Va'avadetem et Hashem Elokeichem is our work. Realize that there's one thing needs to be done over here. The work is Hashem wants to be your God. Hashem's running the whole show. He's doing whatever he's doing. But he wants you to notice it and to get excited over that. In other words, it's not about me and my needs and what I want. It's Hashem wants to become relevant to me. And what I want to do is every single time something happens in my life, I want to notice that it's crazy. It's unbelievable. Hashem is being revealed down here in this world. And it's coming about through me. And what he wants to see through me is my excitement in the process. The other day, I got a call from a lady. And I don't know who she is at all. But what I know about her is that they both, her and her husband they weren't religious. And then they come in closer, they're becoming more religious. More like Baal Tshuva. But she's going faster than him, which is a problem. Because she's propelling a lot quicker than he is. So now they want to go on he came up with this idea that they're going to go to Orlando for Pesach. And it's wonderful. Except that he decided that they're going one couple with another couple. So two couples going to have a house together. And she's very, very, very concerned about it because there's a swimming pool in the house. She's really worried that if you have a pool, what's going to happen is, it won't be so modest. And that's her concern. So the question is, she says, what do I do? So what do you think she did? She verbalized and she told him that. That's what she did. So he came home, excited. I arranged for us a trip. I'm getting a house. Here's the thing and whatever. And he shows her the house. And he shows her that in the house, there's, all those Orlando houses that have Disney characters. And she freaks out from Disney characters. Because they're not modest and they're not, what we're looking for. And it's not our style and all that, all her issue. So now she says to me, how do I tell my husband that it's not right? Because I said, what's wrong? You just told him. She says it didn't end well. It was a disastrous day. Because I told my husband all the things, and he freaked out, and she sent me the text. It's amazing how couples talk by text. When you scream by text in caps. It was like, and then he says to her, why are we texting? And she said to him, why are we texting? He says, because you don't want to talk to me, and so you texted me first. And now they're screaming at each other by text. It's really disastrous. So I was just talking to her and I said, it's interesting because, obviously I'm supposed to agree with you that you want to go to a modest place and all that. But before I agree with you, the poor guy, he came home, he was so excited. Like he arranged he managed to pull off, we're going to go, and I found a house, and all the wonderful things that I did. And what did his wife do right away when she heard it? Smacked the whole thing up and made him feel like a piece of dirt. You can't do that. So she says, but I don't want that. But stop making it about you. בארצך. What you want to do is let go. You will get everything you want if you don't try get it. Of course, if you don't try get it, you'll never get it. But if you try get it, you won't get it either. So there has to be this absolute certainty that Hashem has given me what I want. And now you're able to look at your husband and said, just listen to what he said. He said he's arranging a trip. So listen to him, accept it, make him feel special that he did that. Tell him out, wow, that's so special. So you actually spend time and you actually went and found the place, and this is so good, and you care for our family, and it's beautiful. And I appreciate so much. And what's going to happen then? Make him feel good. She said, well, then we'll go where I don't want to go. No, then you'll make him feel good. When your husband feels good, now he wants to make you feel even better. He's going to be excited that he made you feel good. And it is a long-term strategy. Now what you want to do is come along to him and let him know what you like. I love when we are like alone, just us. It's actually like harder work for me. I really like it because no one, it's like other couples intrude. And it makes me feel good when we're by ourselves. It makes me feel good when people are dressed modestly. So you're not telling him in the moment, you're just letting him know in general the things you like. And if you have a good relationship and you keep on telling him good things, then the guy wants to please you. So yes, I don't know if it'll work for now. He may have already booked the house. Most likely he already booked it. So you might have to do for a long-term strategy. But if it's not about me and my desires, and it's not about me trying to get what I want, then you'll get what you want. You see, the work is va'avadetem et Hashem to become Elokeichem. I'm not looking for me to be connected to Hashem. I want to know, what does Hashem want? If you look at any situation, you stop asking what do I want, and you ask what does Hashem want in the situation. Hashem wants to be relevant to you. He wants you to see him in his life right now. If your husband came home and he said something great, the mission of the moment is to make him feel good for what he just did. Because he did something good, whether you agree with it or not now. Build a happy, healthy space. So step one is let go of my desires. It's not בארצך. It's what's called in Tehillim בארצות החיים. That the space that I live in, right? The space. Your child will come over to you and it'll give you their whole entire heart if they know it's a safe space. If they know you're thinking about yourself, whatever they say, they will not be open with you. But if you're a safe space, it's about them, not about me. So it's about me, number one, realizing I have everything Hashem wants. Hashem's taking care of me. I'm good. What's my mission now? Va'avatem et Hashem to become Elokeichem. It's what does Hashem want done that makes relevant to me. The imahot, the mothers, were not able to have a baby for a simple reason. It says about Sarah, en la valad. And what that means is, en la beit valad. She never had a receptacle. She never had a womb where a baby would be able to be held. And that means, by us, when a feeling doesn't work, it's because you don't have a space for the feeling to be held. In order to allow feelings, the babies, in, you have to create a receptacle. What does it mean, a receptacle? It goes like this. You say to yourself, I want to make $1 billion. I need to make $1 billion. I want $1 billion. And then you keep on looking to say, I'm pushing. You look behind. That didn't make me $1 billion. I'm making, $10 an hour right now, working as a waiter. That's not working. Less than minimum wage. So you look back, it's not working. If you keep on looking behind your shoulders, it's not going to work. The way to get what you want is by accepting that you're not going to get it. Disappointment. I let go of any desires. I accept that it's not happening, which is the opposite of number one. Number one says, whatever I want, Hashem is giving me. So I'm good. I have it. I see it around all the time. It's amazing. Then you say, my goal is to what does Hashem want done now? Step 3 is accept every single thing you want is not happening. No expectations. So why are you doing it? I don't know. Because I'm going towards my goals. I have it already. I'm not getting it. You know how you make $1 billion? By accepting that you're not going to make it. Because when you're looking for it, you can't do it. You're not a receptacle. Hashem is giving it to you. The flow is coming your way, but not the way you wanted it. In order to be a receptacle, it's about understanding and appreciating that I'm not getting it, and it's okay. Now, what happens in life is, you ever notice on your body, you'll see, whenever you need something, it's like, I need this, I need that. It's like needs. It's like a twitch, right? All the time. I need to eat. I need to drink. I need to sleep. I need to go out. I need to do that. I need to do that. It's called Kadesh Atzmecha Bamutar Loch. Make yourself holy in that which is permissible. By Hasidim, they would say, Ha'asur asur, ve'amutar meyutar. What's forbidden is forbidden. What's permissible is unnecessary. It means just notice in yourself how the body has all these needs and twitches all the time. It moves towards this space, that space, that space. And every time you don't do anything, just pay attention to how the body keeps on moving around. And what you'll discover is that when you pay attention, you become centered. The work is to be centered in a beautiful space. Which leads us to the primary one, the big one. Who was, when you think of a barren woman, besides the matriarchs, who was barren? Hannah. Hannah was barren and she was davening for a baby. Imagine you're barren and you don't have feelings and you want to have a feeling. Hannah's tefillah, her prayer, was so powerful. It was so beautiful. Here's what she said. She said, you know, it says, Vatispal Chana, she davened afterwards when she said thank you, but there was a tefillah before. When Eli saw she was drunk, it says about Chana, Vatitpalel al Hashem uvacho tivke. And the grammar is incorrect. What do you mean, Vatitpalel al Hashem? What does that mean? She davened al Hashem? You meant to say? El Hashem. It's an aleph versus an ayin. Vatitpalel al Hashem, you davening to Hashem. Vatitpalel al Hashem, she davened for Hashem. Uvochoi sivke. And she cried. Chana brought about the miracle of having a baby because she understood that she didn't daven to Hashem, she davened for Hashem. Hashem, the most insane thing you could ever imagine that he did. I don't know why, but he didn't ask me for my opinion. But here's what Hashem did. What he did was, he took his own self and his own being, and he embedded it somewhere. Where? Inside you. We don't work for Hashem. Hashem is inside of us. He's right inside you. Chana discovered that she needed a baby. So she was there and she was desperate for a baby. And Eli came over to her and he says, "You're drunk. You're in a drunken stupor." He didn't think she was drunk from drinking. He thought she was drunk from sitting over there and just being, you know how when you daven, you're saying that, I need. Davening is all egotistical. Because what's davening about? I need, I don't have, I need. Hashem, please give me what I need. And it doesn't work. You don't need anything. Hashem needs. Where is Hashem? He's inside you. In davening we say, and it's so powerful, think about this next time you daven and you'll see your whole davening will be changed. We daven and we say, in Hallelujah, we say, There's so many things Hashem does. There's all the weather, the storms, and everything that goes on. All the amazing beings in the world, all of them, Shem Hashem. They all praise the name of Hashem, because His name is exalted above. Hodo al eretz v'shamayim. His ray of light is on heaven and earth. And then it says, Vayarem keren le'amo. What's the simple meaning of Vayarem keren le'amo? He gave a horn to his nation. So, what's his name? Michelangelo was right. That's what it says, right? Jews have horns. What does it mean? Vayarem keren le'amo, he gave horns to his people? A horn. What does it mean? He gave a horn. Now you say it every day. In davening. It's one of the most incredibly uplifting pieces of davening when you get this. What's a keren? Light. What else? If you speak plain Hebrew, modern day Hebrew, tell me what in simple modern day Hebrew that's used, what's keren? What? Ho? Oh. Yeah. What else? I'll give you a clue. If you're a banker and you're in financing, Maze keren? Principle. It comes from the Gemara. When you steal, what do you pay back? You pay back double, right? Yeah. What's that called? Kefil. That's a double. What's the first part called? You stole $100, you pay back $200. But what's the second 100 is called the kefil. That's the double. What's the first one called? It's called the keren, the principle. The thing itself. So what does it mean by Vayarem keren le'amo? So powerful. The principle of Hashem. Where is Hashem? Where will you find? The principle means the actual thing itself. The whole world. All of them, they only get to praise the name of Hashem. His name is alone. They only see the ray of light of Hashem. You want to find Hashem, God Himself? Vayarem keren le'amo. The answer is inside His people. You want to see God? Go say hello to a Jew and get to know a fellow Jew. Every fellow Jew, we have this insane external shell. But if you're able to hone in deep on what a Jew is, you will find Hashem. You'll find a dazzling, spectacular brilliance of God. You know all these images that are going around now about the hostages who are coming out, and suddenly you see like how did someone survive 500 days being locked up in chains, Rahman al-Islam and all that? And you discover that they discover it because there's a dazzling brilliance of the Jewish spirit. Yeah. And it's a relationship with Hashem that every Jew got. You know, there's this line that was said, which is that if there were one Jew left in the world, and he never had a Hebrew school education, never had any kind of education, and never knew anything about being Jewish other than that he's Jewish. If he discovered that he was the last Jew left in the world, he would rebuild Judaism. Who do you think said that? Quote from? Sounds like a holy Rebbe, right? The Books of the Final Solution, 1941. Not he himself, but it was written in that book. He said the reason why we have to get every single Jew is because every single Jew, if he didn't know anything about Judaism, the problem with Jews is they jump around, they pretend like they're whatever. If he didn't know anything about Judaism, but you told him one thing, and you discover that there's no other Jews left in the world, now he would take it on himself, you would discover the dazzling brilliance of Hashem. Vayarem keren le'amo means God is inside you. So here's the work. If God is inside you, so what? Hashem is inside me. What does Hashem want? I don't know. Ask Him what He wants. Vatispalel chano al Hashem. She's davening for Hashem. What does it mean for Hashem? I'm not davening right now to Hashem. I'm davening for Hashem. Hashem says, have compassion for me. Uvachot tivkeh, she was crying. She was having compassion. I don't know why Hashem did it. But Hashem put, in Chana's case, inside me, she said. And I am chalishing, I'm yearning for a baby. I want a baby. So she says, if I'm yearning for a baby, you know who's actually yearning for a baby? Hashem. How do I know that? Because that which I want And that which I desperately need is not about me. And I've learned already that I'm stopping to make it about me. It's about Hashem. So I'm davening for what Hashem needs. And when you flip that transformation, that's what shifts everything. It's the biggest issue we have. When a child goes off the derech nowadays, and they come home and they say, Mommy, I'm not religious, I'm not keeping Shabbos anymore. What happens is called freak out. And Mommy says, whether she says it passively, passive-aggressive, or aggressive, whichever one she says, the bottom line is, the message is, over my whatever. No chance. And then the kid says, it's my life. And what's the work? The work is to ask yourself, what just happened over here? My child told me something, and I have to let go of what I want. What does Hashem want over here? It isn't my problem. Children going off, just because they're your children, doesn't mean it's your problem. It's Hashem's problem. You, because you're a mommy, you now have this incredible ability to bind one to the other. But no pressure, no stress. I'm davening for Hashem, not for me. Because if the kid goes off, what's going to happen? Remember, you've done your stages from before. Remember? Step one, if I want to be happy, it's not about me. It's not Be'artzech. I let go. All that I want, all my dreams are happening. Step two is, my mission is, Va'avatem et Hashem to become Elokechem. I want to see Hashem in my life. Step three is, I'm here to recognize that the worst case, disappointment, it's all happening. The kid goes off, it's finished. And every time I have this need, a little twitch, I notice it. And now I'm poised to say, what needs to be done? What does Hashem want? You'll discover that you're in all your glory and all your power. And Hashem is revealed when you focus on Hashem. See, when you focus on what do I need, then Hashem is hiding. Then the kid's not going to get Hashem from you, but rather will get one ego clashing with another ego. No chance. Let it go, and you'll discover the flow of divine energy right through you. Because Vayavrim Keren Le'amo, Hashem is inside you. What Hashem wants is that you should focus on Him. See, how do you bring Hashem out? When you tell a child who goes off, when you look at the child and you say, no way, because I want nachas, that's your ego, and the child the energy will be there. There'll be a blockage between the two of you. The work is to go through the work yourself. It's not about Artzecha, it's about Hashem. It's about what Hashem wants. And if I accept that it's about what Hashem wants and about the truth, then what are you here for? You're here to ask, what do I want? That's what the lady could do. If she comes to her husband and she says, I'm not having this. We're not going on this kind of vacation. She might win if she's stronger willed than him. But it's much more likely to succeed if you bring God into the picture and not about my own ego. If she says to her husband, she accepts what he said. It's so beautiful. She looks at him and gives him a good feeling for what he just accomplished. Thank you so much. And then let him know what I like. Do you see how that's a much more godly thing than anything else? What Chana did was, Vatispalel Chana al Hashem. She davened for Hashem. She recognizes that Hashem wants. This is what's called DBT therapy. DBT. What does it stand for? Not what you think. Dira betachtonim. That's what it stands for. Hashem wants a home in this world, and you and I are building that home. And every time you're doing it, God is being revealed through you. So now let's read the work, the pasuk. Va'avatem et Hashem Elokechem. Your goal is to make Hashem your God. Your goal is to recognize Hashem every step of the way. And what's going to happen is, Teye, משכלה, ועקרה, בארצך. Your feelings will come and they will stay. Because if it's about me and what I want, feelings don't last. If I do these steps, I make it about Hashem, Artzecha, and I say, what does Hashem want to be done? And I accept my disappointments. Nothing's happening, so I'm just doing it anyway. And I notice every time I need something, I just notice it. And then I say, like Chana, I'm davening for what Hashem needs. What you'll discover is that you will do vasiroti machala mikirbecha. There is a sickness that we all suffer from. It's a terrible sickness. It's a terrible malady. What that sickness is called, who started off sickness? The first person in the world. Adam and Chava. What did they do?
They ate from
They ate from the Eitz HaDas. What happened when they ate the Eitz HaDas? That is starting to know yourself. Everything we've learned is how to escape Das. How to escape it being you. It's not about me. Before they sinned, Adam and Chava were not wearing anything, and there was no issue. Not because it's modest or not, because there was no question. Because they didn't sense themselves. As soon as they started to sense themselves, that's when everything started to fall apart. And it seems so holy because my child saying they don't want to be from. Yeah, but I made it about my own ego. That's my das. That came from the Chet Eitz Das. That's where it came from. That's the machala. That's the sin. That's the sickness. The sickness is a sickness of being egotistical. The Gemara tells us there were 4 people who died for no reason in the world other than be'etyoy shel nachash, because of the snake, because of the sin of the snake. They had no sin whatsoever, but they were not able to fully escape the ego. They were Binyamin, of the 12 tribes, Amram, father of Moshe, Ishai, father of David, and Kilav, son of David.
Wow.
Those 4 people escaped the whole thing, but they couldn't get out of one thing only. And that is the sense of self. What's the reason why we have feelings and they disappear? The reason is because I'm thinking about myself. And the work is to be able to make it about Hashem, about what needs to be done. Making about Hashem means it's never about me. What is the problem and what needs to be done to solve it? Making it about Hashem means asking what issue is there, not how I feel about this issue. It's intoxicating when you're around a person who's not into themselves, like a little 5-year-old goes to their mother and the mother just actually cares what they say. It's exciting, it's intoxicating. You hang around people who are not into their own selves, and rather it's about you. And that's how to get the machala, to get the sickness, to get rid of the sickness. But there's one final step in the pasuk. Let's summarize first. Number 1, Artzecha, there is an earth that goes around. There's like this whole thing, we make deposits into it. Stop making deposits about self. The deposits need to be selfless. It's about what needs to be done. So I accept whatever dreams I have, Hashem's going to give it to me. I see them all now. My moment that I'm in now is the best moment. That's hard work. What's my work? To make Hashem my God, to see Hashem every step of the way. Number 3, I accept that's not happening. Disappointments. I notice every time I need something. Notice. It was interesting this morning. After I learned this already like 5 times in preparation for now. This morning, something happened. And then I'm getting all antsy. And then I said to myself, at least practice what you preach. You just said a bunch of steps. Go do them. And when you do them, you discover it's mind-boggling. It really is. Because like Chana, it's vatitpalel al Hashem, daven for Hashem. Hashem needs you. Hashem, when you have a tzara, when you have a problem, stop davening for what I need. It's for Hashem. Just one little expression of how that would work. Let's say you did an Aveira. Chas v'shalom, something really, really bad. So now you feel guilty and you don't want to do anything good afterwards, right? What should you really do after you did something bad? You should jump for joy with the greatest excitement ever. Because remember, it's not about me. There's a princess. I locked her up in prison because I did something wrong. But if I care about Hashem, so Hashem was blocked because I did an Aveira, so release him. Don't make it about you. Make it about God. You have Hashem built inside you. And then you'll have asiroti machala mikirbecha. The sickness disappears. Step 6 is the key to all of them. Et mispar yamecha amaleh. I will fill the days of your life. Which means you wish that you could learn how to do this. And it's done. Now I'm done it. What you'll discover is that even after you learn how to be selfless, how not to make it about you, the next day, the Yetzer Hara is back at work. Every single day of our lives. Et Mispar Yamecha Amale means this is Hashem put us in this world because He wants a relationship with you. And the way He gets a relationship is because you're not perfect. So you're not perfect. You're not problematic. You're not struggling. You are the place where Hashem wants to be revealed. So when you're kicking yourself and you're saying, I learned that and I'm still all about myself, all I care about is me, pat yourself on the back and say, yeah, this is where Hashem wants to be revealed. So it's exciting and it's awesome to be a human being, flawed, struggling as we are, and having to go to a shir and listen and then fall and again and try again and it doesn't work. And it's so hard. It is. But that's because Hashem wants dir b'tachtonim. He wants to be inside you. And that's what it says in our parasha, Asuli Mikdash, V'shachanti betocham. I want to be holy and rest and be relevant inside you. It's the quest of life, of making it about God and not about us. And then the feelings actually last.
Thank you.